Go. Hi, Chelsea. Are you okay there?
Yes, I am. Whew.
Okay, you disappeared.
I know my computer restarted. I got such a heartache.
Oh,
I
shame.
got such
Don't worry,
a
don't worry. Okay, cool. We're going to fade the song and go carry on with the interview with you. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right. We are so glad to have Chelsea Williamson back with us. Good morning, Chelsea, and thank you so much for being willing to chat to us via StreamYard this morning.
Morning, team. I'm so excited to be a part of you and be a part of this interview. Thank you for taking the time to do it.
It's a huge, huge pleasure. So, something big that's happened recently is that South African Sign Language has officially been accepted as the 12th official language of our country. Tell us a little bit about that. And it's been a while since we got democracy, so why only now?
So this is actually something that people have been fighting for years, longer than you can imagine. However, there's been delay after delay, and a lot of hoops that we had to jump through to get it to this official status. So ultimately, what's now happened is Parliament last year they sat down in Parliament and they went to approve it. There was one member who was a little bit unsure, so it wasn't passed. And this year, Parliament sat down and it was unanimously passed, which was amazing. So all members of Parliament have said they agree that South African Sign Language needs to be recognized as the 12th official language to ensure equality for all South Africans, including our deaf and hard of hearing community, which is amazing. So the absolute last step that we've got to get is we need the president to give that final signature, which will be done in the next month. Obviously, our president's been traveling overseas, so we've been waiting for that. But it's such a huge, monumental moment in this country to show that people with disabilities are equal members of society and are equal members of South Africa.
That is brilliant. And then when it comes to GAAD or GAAD, tell us about that. It's quite a mouthful, Global Accessibility Awareness Day, which is coming up on the 18th of May.
Yes, so Global Accessibility Awareness Day is one of my favorite days of the year. It's a day that we celebrate accessibility for all people with disabilities. And what's really amazing is with South African Sign Language being recognized as a 12th official language, it lines up so beautifully because using South African Sign Language as the 12th official language is an element of accessibility. So accessibility it's more or less what it sounds like. It's creating opportunities for access for people with disabilities. And I love this day because if we understand as society that we have the potential to create an inclusive and accessible environment for people with disabilities, whether it's through physical accessibility, which is building ramps, making sure that our parking bays are accessible, our bathrooms are accessible, all of these different elements of accessibility, or checking ourselves and making sure that our language and our assumptions and our bias is accessible towards people with disabilities. It's such a beautiful day to celebrate and ensure that we're creating an accessible society for absolutely everybody.
That is absolutely incredible, Chelsea. So something also that's really, really awesome is that GAAD is launching their new developers program. Tell us more about that.
So we've launched what's called a Deaf Developers Program. We launched it at the beginning of the year with our first cohort. It's an amazing opportunity where we've sponsored 10 deaf individuals who are South African Sign Language users to study app development. I'm somebody who's advocating for inclusion across the board, from inclusive education right up to inclusive employment opportunities. And this program reaches both of those targets. We have worked within the deaf and hard of hearing community for years. Myself, I've been in the deaf and hard of hearing community for 12, 13 years. It's a part of me now. And I don't see deaf individuals as people that are less than. I just see them as people who use a different language. Because I'm fluent in South African Sign Language, it's easier for me to have that perspective. So we launched this program understanding that deaf individuals in South Africa currently only have low to no skilled job opportunities, if they have a job opportunity at all. The current statistic in South Africa is 98.9% of people with disabilities are unemployed. And if you think of that, that's the largest group of individuals with the highest unemployment rate in South Africa, and yet very little, in fact, I would say next to nothing, is being done about creating employment opportunities, especially in high-skilled jobs. So we launched this program to ensure that people with disabilities had equal access to higher employment opportunities, such as being app developers. So we have these 10 deaf individuals that are currently fully sponsored to study app development through our program, which is a college that's been run for hearing individuals as well and had successful employment rates. And then secondly, we acknowledge that we're currently in a space that there's a tech talent shortage. There are not enough people to fill the jobs in the tech space. So we're saying, well, great, you need people that are qualified in the tech space. We have them. They just happen to be deaf. If you're willing to take a chance on them, they're willing to prove that any of your misconceptions around deaf individuals in the workspace can be shattered, and you can create space for an inclusive and accessible environment whilst filling a need that you have.
Sure. That is incredible. Chelsea Williamson, thank you so much for highlighting this and for talking to us about it. Really so on point, and we really do appreciate you highlighting this. So iSchoolAfrica, how can people find out more about iSchoolAfrica? How can they find out more about the whole accessibility and that program?
So we are running an event this week, Thursday, at the iStore in Sandton Drive. So if anybody wants to come through, it's a free event. You can go onto our social media platforms and have a look for that link where to book it, and you can book your free space. Alternatively, you can find us on our website, you can find us on social media, or you can email us. Our website is iSchoolAfrica.com. Our email address is info@iSchoolAfrica.com. Or alternatively, our social media platforms are iSchoolAfrica_ZA. But if you search for iSchoolAfrica, we'll pop up too.
As easy as that. Chelsea, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it and the amazing work that you're doing. I think it is just amazing. Great chatting to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me and creating opportunities for people to talk about really important issues that might not be heard before.
Yeah, true story. Thank you so much.